Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all that crap we love to talk about. I'm Neil Bravs. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Good. Today we are talking about one of my favorite new things, Chimp Crazy on Max, episode 2, for those of you who want it. Also, we talked about The Secret Life of Mormon Wives, which is an upcoming Hulu show. We talk about that on our Patreon. We did a full trailer trash for that. That's also where you can find videos of this and all of our recaps over at Patreon, which is where all of our bonuses are, etc. So join us over there. We will be simplifying Patreon in the next month or so to just kind of modernize with the times where we're revamping that whole thing. So that should be a lot easier to deal with. And that's it, I think. What do you have to say for yourself, Ben?
I just want to give a shout out to a podcast called The Gist. I guested on that. I think the episodes, if this recap goes up Tuesday or if it comes up on Monday, either way, I think the episode's coming up on Tuesday. So talked Bravo, pop culture on it. It was really fun. So go check out The Gist. A really cool podcast.
Nice. Nice one. Yeah, go check that out. Okay, well, here we are with episode 2 of Chimp Crazy. Now, this show got a lot darker. Episode 2. There's already some darkness in episode 1, but episode 2, I sent a text to Ben saying, how do we do this? Wow.
It gets dark, but I have to say, by the way, we just recapped episode 1. And I have to say that, one thing I enjoy about our job is that sometimes recapping a show will make you like a show less, but I actually found that by the time we're done with our first recap, I liked Chimp Crazy more than when we started the recap. Isn't that funny? I was like, there's a lot going on here that I really appreciate. So I just want to give a little emotional update from me about the show.
A little emotional. Chimp update,
it's
emotional.
There's some really fascinating themes going on with it that I feel like, I think I was not fully tapped into, but, I think I officially like the show now.
In what we do, I think sometimes in what we do, just general watching TV, there's a lot of stuff I don't like when I watch it. I mean, I still stand by. I would not watch Below Deck in real life. I think I only enjoy Below Deck because we're covering Below Deck. Because when I have watched episodes that we don't cover, there have been seasons where we've taken a break from Below Deck because there's so much going on Bravo, and there's just Below Deck is never ending, So if something has to go, it's usually Below Deck. But we'll watch it anyway to keep updated, because we still have to watch the season, but I just don't enjoy it the same. But when we're taking notes, I love it. It's weird. Like, you're just watching differently if you have to talk about it. You have to look at it in a deeper way, I guess.
You have to look at, I think,
so deep.
Yeah. I think we have to sometimes when I watch a show, if we're recapping it, I think, how are we going to recap this? And then that actually can affect my enjoyment of the show. And then, I think I had a lot of fun recapping the first episode with you, and I'm like, wait a second. No, this is great. No problems. So that was my update, my personal update.
Well, just a little disclaimer. This is a dark show. There are a lot of dark themes. There's a lot of animal tragedy and stuff, that human tragedy.
It's fucked up.
Both. But I mean, I think we can all agree that we care more about the animal tragedy most of the time because we see human tragedy all the time. We're used to that. But the animal tragedy is hard. It's rough. And it is in this show. There are glimmers of light and hope in this show too, though. So that's why I'm liking it. And just also how well it's done. I mean, it is just done beautifully. I think they did such a great job with all of the art on this.
And I think, in the first recap, I talked about how, it was not giving me the same thing I was expecting out of Tiger King, which is that like Tiger King was really about the characters and like a whole crazy story that was happening with tigers at the center as like this basically a way to like earn money. This seems to be more about like people who have like a really warped relationship with wild animals. Like they really view the animals as like children and like sources of love and like that blurred line and delusion. And I think that's why it's sort of like, it's disturbing. That's why it feels so dark, because there's like a real sadness. There's a sadness in Tiger King, but there's like a different kind of, or darker, more exaggerated sadness here with these lonely people who, like Connie's alone. She has a husband, but it seems like they live these solitary lives and pour everything into these animals that they don't like. They read so much into the animals that aren't even there. I guess you could even say this is like a parasocial relationship. Like parasocial is a little bit of a buzzword in this age of influencers and social media, but this is like the original parasocial relationship. People with chimpanzees.
Well, I think it's dark because someone gets their face ripped off.
Well, there's that too.
I don't even go.
I was
don't
dreading
even go
it.
that deep about it. I'm like, wow, that was actually just somebody fully getting ripped apart by a chimp.
That was
sucks.
bone chilling. And like, again,
Yeah.
it's like, we knew they were going to have to talk about these things that happened because they made national news when it happened. And it was horrifying when it made national news. You're just like, oh my God, this is terrible. And they're going to talk about it, but because it's a documentary and because it's a well-funded documentary, you knew they're going to be able to have access to like really, really unpleasant details and footage to support it. And I was like, that entire sequence, I was just kind of like, I was just tensed up and like, please just don't show me any like actual police photos of the crime scene because I just don't think I can handle it.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough situation all around, not only for the lady who had that happen, but also the chimps, because you know that they're just being kept in these conditions that they literally go nuts, you know? Just want to kind of put that disclaimer out there because I know, I read the threads and stuff. Everybody's talking about it all online and stuff. So I've been reading a lot of the threads and people like refusing to watch it because of the world is scary. And I think that if it is triggering some kind of feelings in you, then you shouldn't be watching it. You know what I mean? But I look at it like the world is scary and I'm not only watching things that make me feel one way. I think part of the power of film especially is how it makes you feel and what it makes you think, so don't always necessarily go for things that make you feel good. Make it as long as it makes you feel something. You're feeling you're alive. Congratulations. Okay, so let's go.
That was my mindset in watching Vanderpump Villa, to be honest.
Tragedies are to swell. All right, darlings. So this is also why I love this show, because of this scene, how it opens. It is really this crew and this director really has no problem just letting a camera run on your ass and just sitting there and letting it happen and not constantly they're not constantly trying to make something happen. They're perfectly happy sitting there and just watching people. And that's the best part of this. So we see Tanya in her favorite place, the Botox place, the Botox and Restylane salon, tanning bed, whatever.
Med spa,
it's like her
whatever.
Favorite place. She's there all the her med spa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she has all this like white shit on her lips. She looks like she just gave a blowjob to a snowman. And she's just sitting there in the
number.
What'd you say?
It's a number, and she's just sitting there. It's a number for her lips because she's about to get injections. So she's got like number all over her lips, and her face looks crazy, and she's going through a lot. So she's staring at her big giant phone with her nails sticking out. And she's kind of looking at it, swiping through it, and then the phone starts ringing, and she just can't take the stress of it. She's like, God damn it. She's, hello? And no one's there. Fucking goddamn, it's probably fucking Jordan, motherfucker Jordan. And then it starts ringing again. She's like, God damn it. She's like the tan of it all, the stuff on her face, and then she just starts
she's vibrating.
The massage chair starts massaging. The camera just sticks on her and shaking like through the chair and like going through her phone. I was dying. It was like my favorite 3 minutes has been on TV this year. It was better than The Bear.
Yeah, I will agree. And so the producer is like, so what are you doing to your lips? She goes, well, I'm getting them big because I'm really conscientious about that. Like, I won't go too big because I don't want to look fake. As her wig like falls into like the foot bath. She's like, I just want them like where kissable. I want them kissable. The kind of lips that a monkey would want to just go to town on.
Yeah, just look better. Yeah, just look better. It's easy for the monkey to take an M&M out of your mouth. You got a lip like that, Oh, guy, I need some water. He gets mad when you drink. You're not supposed to drink, but I do it. I've become talented over the years. I can do a lot. They don't think you can drink, but you can. I can drink. You're supposed to. But I do it.
As she starts to choke on her numb throat. Saliva goes down her numb throat. So
I know she's like, can't breathe. Can't breathe.
So then we see news broadcasts like, what happened to celebrity Chimp Tonka? And like all these newscasters talking about like, Tonka's missing. Where's Tonka? Everyone's been trying to reach Tanya to find out, where did Tonka go? Who has Tonka?
Oh, God. Yeah. You hear that phone going off? Because now the Botox guy is there, who's probably also the local Jiffy Lube guy. Like, literally can't tell the difference. Say, hey, you hear on my phone? That's life every day now. It gets ridiculous. It gets fucking ridiculous. Let me tell you who it is. That fucker Jordan. It's like, fucker Jordan. Pete, a little fuck.
And so she's getting fillers put in, right? And so she's like, yeah, it's crazy. To me, it's like, where's Waldo? And that's what I call this saga. Where's Waldo? Except it's Tonka instead of Waldo's. Where's Tonka? It just doesn't have the same sound to it.
I like that she keeps saying, where's Waldo? Having no idea how Where's Waldo works. Where's Waldo is where Waldo is in the picture and you just have to find him.
Yeah.
It's not someone hid Waldo. Waldo's out here in the open.
Waldo is not in an underground bunker. Waldo is hiding in plain sight. You just have to keep your eyes open. Yeah.
Right. So I'm learning a lot about fillers and like lip injections because I have not had that yet. And I'm saying yet because I don't know if I will, but I would like to reserve the right. You
just want to be more kissable.
But she's getting injected and then he's squeezing and moving the filler around, which I didn't know you had to do, but apparently you put it in and then you shape it around. So he's doing that. So he's doing it. She's still talking like this with one lip, and she's like, there's some people saying that I had Tonka hidden. Really? Where am I going to hide a chimpanzee? Where? Really? I mean, monkey people find humor in it, saying, what is he in a drawer in your trailer? It's a monkey joke.
But let's be honest, the dolly of chimpanzees have a trailer now. What am I going to do? Put it in my basement? What am I going to do? Like create a cage in my basement of my home where there's going to be a chimpanzee? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Come on. PETA thinks I'm hiding a chimpanzee. I'm a monkey mogul. Here's what they call me. Monkey mogul, hiding a chimpanzee. Famous chimpanzee. That's what they call me. Dolly the monkey mogul. God, I wonder where they got that from. My LinkedIn even says now, Dolly the monkey mogul. I don't even know where they're getting this stuff. It's crazy.
The Botox guy's like, yeah, it's pretty hard to hide a monkey, I would imagine. Oh, yeah. I mean, I invited them yesterday to my house. I mean, hopefully they'll leave us alone, but I don't think so. No, they're assholes. They're real assholes right here.
Yeah, they're assholes. So ring. So then we cut to PETA and Brittany, who's the rat. She's like the Donnie Brasco of the case. Donnie Brasco is the rat, right?
Donnie Brasco is, he's undercover. Yeah, he's not really a rat.
Yeah.
He's just undercover. The rat would be someone who is, I feel like, was already part of the mafia.
He rats out the mafia.
But he's not.
Call it?
But I feel like a rat is someone who's already part of the mafia who then flips versus someone who infiltrates. They're
still like a rat. A rat's a rat. He's an official rat.
It's official.
He's a hired
rat in a top hat. Top hat rat.
Yeah, still a rat.
Mole. No, you're a mole. You're not a rat. You're a mole. Different road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Brittany's a rat.
They're interviewing Brittany and they're like, where's Tonka? And she's like, Tonka's conditions and whereabouts are currently unknown. Brittany, you don't have to hide behind the fake bush today. But I bought it. Brittany, put down the bush.
No. Brittany is actually general counsel for PETA. And they talked to her because I think that.
I thought Brittany was the lady who was the rat.
No, I don't. I never really commit her name to memory.
All right, start over. Start the whole thing over. Start from the top.
No,
back
Brittany,
to the beauty salon. We're back to lip injections.
No, because I was like, who is Brittany? I feel like her name wasn't Brittany. And then I realized right here, she's the general counsel.
General counsel for PETA.
Yeah. She apparently, like, Jared was not available that day, so they had to get Brittany, and they're like, Brittany, you're going on camera. She's like, I am. Yeah. Tonka is an adult male chimpanzee. He's in his 30s. He weighs in excess of a couple hundred pounds. He's a stocky, big guy.
Okay, can we stop fat shaming Tonka?
He has body odor.
Seriously?
Scoliosis.
Even the PETA lady is fat shaming. You're going to call him chunky? Really? Stocky? That's what you're going to call him? If he was in overalls, they'd be made by Husky.
He says he's really excited for the Challenge 40, but we all know he stopped watching at the Challenge 38. So just give a little background on him.
I remember Brittany now very well. Brittany is also fucking over it. Hey, let me tell you something they don't do at PETA. joke around the water cooler.
They
Like
don't.
literally nobody from PETA ever smiles. This is the most miserable. She's like, yeah, I don't know what happened to Tonka. I really don't. What I do know is the Tonka story is not true. It's like, geez, live a little, Brit.
Well, I
Okay?
can understand.
Someone hit a fucking chimp. Someone hit a chimp hilariously. Can we just have a little fun at work?
I would be miserable too if like the Monday morning meeting is like, okay, everyone, here's the PETA news. Joanna Krupa called again. She wants to do something. Oh God, not Joanna Krupa again. After this, I've got to be on a conference call with Joanna Krupa for 3 hours talking about what she wants to do in Miami.
So then we cut to Fox Files news footage of Tanya. And she's like, and Tonka passed away. And what happened was we had an event. We are assuming it's a stroke. I don't want to blame Nesquik. That wouldn't be cool. But
You know, before PETA came and took the chimps, Tonka was very, very ill, okay? It was called Twizzleritis, and it's just incurable. And it's sad, and the timing sucked because it was near the end of a court case, you know? But, like, you know, we believe that Tonka had a massive stroke after we gave him some Red Bull. And, you know, like, we already knew he had an enlarged heart, but we did an assessment. His heart was huge. Yeah, what do you want to know about it?
giant heart, huge. We had an assessment, big heart. And a certified veteran sent a PETA a certified statement as well as x-rays with labs. Let's look at some of these x-rays. As you can see, this is a chest cavity with a remote control inside. I'm not really sure how that got there, but let me tell you, he could always get I Love Lucy playing. He was so good with that, Tonka.
Ma'am, that's just the instruction manual for your Samsung television.
Oh, you're right. Damn it. All right. Well, I like plays anyway. So.
Well, the
More questions.
The vet begged me to euthanize him, and I said, "Look, he's already old. Listen, he's an actor. He tried to be youthful as long as he possibly could. You just can't make him any younger looking. That's just the way chimps are." And I said, "No, that's not what euthanizing means." I said, "You don't tell me what euthanizing means, okay? Because I'm the one getting stuff put in my lips."
Yeah, let me tell you, if you're going to euthanize someone, let me tell you who you should euthanize, youths. Because, I've got a couple of kids that I gave birth to. They aren't worth shit, and they put the youth in euthanized. So go get them.
Do you know how many roles are available for actors above a certain age? It's not right, and so I refuse to euthanize this chimp. How about Hollywood makes better roles?
Who's next? Betty White? That's what I say. Jeez. And, so we did. We ended up euthanizing him. It's a sad situation, but what's sadder? They keep running out of Hello Kitty boxes. I don't know why I'm still buying those. I don't have any monkeys.
So now we see Alan coming again. He's like, when Peter said that they didn't think he was dead, I was just like, oh, really? And it's just like, is it time to put this to rest? Is it? Why would she do that? I hope he's alive. But if he is, where the fuck is he? Palm Springs? Is he in Palm Springs? Please someone tell me that there are chimps in Palm Springs.
We cut to a sign that says Lake of the Ozarks. I'm like, oh my God, the Ozarks? Really?
It's like Donny Osmond and Tonka performing on stage.
Okay, so it's 2 months after Tonka's disappearance. Now we're with our proxy producer, Dwayne, the clown. And he keeps getting a call from Tanya, and he's talking about how when he was they first reached him and asked him to be the proxy director, he's like, yeah, I didn't even know what that was, so I Googled it, but I still didn't really get it. I still don't really, but I know animals, and these are animal people, so proxy it up.
And then Tanya calls and goes, see, isn't that wild? Here she is. I'm like, why did we have this scene with Dwayne saying, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I liked it because Dwayne really amuses me because, again, I really think he thinks he's the director now.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So they go over to Tanya's new house up in the Ozarks, and she has all sorts of animals. She has a camel and everything. Later on, we see a kangaroo. Now, that kangaroo, again, should be someplace else. But that being said, that kangaroo is kind of a breakout star for me. Every time that little kangaroo came bouncing into the shot, my heart sang.
Oh, that little kid. He was a little baby kangaroo. It was very cute.
Just kept bouncing in. Love that kangaroo.
Yeah, very cute. But it's like you want to root for Tanya because it's like, look at Tanya. She's had rough times, but she didn't give a fuck. She went to buy some mansion in the Ozarks, and now she's got all these new animals.
Yeah.
She's doing just fine, and they're like safer, I guess, to have. They're not
Camels.
chimps. So it's like, let's look at Tanya. She's doing it, but then you remember that Tanya is kind of a villain too, because she goes up to the camel and she's like, "Hey, camel, you want some grain? You want a little grain, camel? All right, you better kiss me first. You're not getting it until you kiss me, camel." It's like, wow, okay. I thought, have we not moved past this in the Ozarks? You can't do that, Tanya. Give it its fucking grain.
I know you want to kiss me. My lips are more kissable now, okay? You went through a whole process. Kiss up. Come on, camel.
Oh, we're definitely not in Festus anymore. I can tell you that. It's been a long time since I've lived in a town that people don't get confused with fetus.
I actually moved to a lake in Central Missouri, and I moved to another town that looks just like Festus. I'm like, I love when she says, "We're not in Festus anymore." I'm like, usually you say that when you like go from New York City to Arizona or Kansas to not Kansas, but like to go from one town to just another town in the same state. I was like, looks kind of like you're still in Festus.
Yeah. So she has 28 acres, and this house needs inundated. That's what it needs. This house needs inundated. What the fuck is Tanya ever talking about?
We need to inundate this house. Okay, here's my motif. We need to inundate this house. Let's inundate it from all sides. We gotta inundate it.
We're inundating right now. And we're going to do a private petting zoo. We're going to inundate that sucker. Okay. So we see her taking care of the animals, and then she's setting her. She's sitting at the kitchen table. She's got a new crazy wig.
Yeah.
Even crazier. And she's like, "I'm looking for white ponies. I'm just doing, things an artist does. I'm looking for ponies because I'm going to color them." She's like sketching out these ponies that she wants to do. She's going to get white ponies, color them, and put unicorn horns on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we have an animal that you don't border on animal abuse with?
I know.
That would be great. Can we just have a white pony? You don't need to put all, and she's going to use fucking spray paint or something too.
Yeah, this is like, when you see someone who has like a little white dog and then they dye the tip of the dog's tail like bright pink. This is like what happens when you give those people too much power. Because now she's like, "Here's
you know what? I think we all need to just calm down. Because I think someone has forgotten that their friend used to have a little white dog named Xena that had a pink mohawk.
Did you? Well,
that ran.
No, but not a pink tail. Not a pink tail.
That's true. Okay. Technicality.
And honestly, Ronnie, let's be honest. If you were unshackled by like sense and sensibility, and you were given a white pony, I kind of think you might also want to put heart sparkles on their butts.
You're right. I would. That's why I can never hate Tanya. You know that meme going around where they're like, "I can never hate you." I think that's the dumbest meme. Like, they can never make me hate you. I don't love that meme because I just don't feel it about anybody, because like they could make me hate anybody, really. But Tanya, they could never make me hate Tanya. I feel that way about Tanya. I'm like, you know what? You can't just spray paint a horse, Tanya. But can you? Can I help you?
She's full of Ronnie id, right? So she's like,
I love her. I get her somehow.
She's like, I'm gonna put heart sparkles on their butts and stuff, but I want it to be all glitter, so it's got to be blingy, because blingy is my deal, and then it'll be a real cute pony.
Yeah, and I'm not blingy. Like, I don't have anything in common. I mean, I do have big boobs, but like, I don't have a ton in common with her, but I feel for her. So then she's like, "I got gibbons. They're endangered. But for the most part, it's going to be strictly not endangered stuff, because we don't want any issues with motherfucker Jared, the little piece of shit, little wuss, little wimp. I don't want anyone coming around here I'm going to have to push into a locker. Know what I mean?" So legal animals it is.
So Dwayne goes, "Well, how can you afford all this?" And she goes, "Oh, well." And now in her car, and she's got baby monkeys in the backseat. She goes, "Well, I do a lot of brokering of exotic animals," which is funny because I feel like most people, that's not like, when you talk about brokering exotic animals, it just sounds so illegal. It sounds so wrong. So it's just funny. She's like, "Yeah, I just broker exotic animals. I'm the middleman. I can get any animal that you're looking for, and I can get a brokerage fee for that. And like any baby or any animal that I broker, I usually just transport. I don't trust any other transporters to take care of my babies. Oh, hold on one second. You know what? I think that gibbon got away. We have to turn around this car."
So basically, she learned how to do this from Connie, her mentor. You know, that's how she met. She went in to hold a couple of chimps, and now look at her. She's fucking got a trench coat on, and she's like got little baby monkeys under there. She's just like spreading out all over the world. Now, here's my look. A lot of problems have arisen in this show so far, but this is the main one that I have with Tanya. Even though I love her. You can't, you know what happens. Like, you know what happens. You know that these monkeys can only get to a certain age before they become violent and before it becomes terrible to own them. They can never be let outside of a cell. So what are you doing? Like in the beginning, it was like, okay, well, she didn't really know. Like they were cute and people didn't really know what happened to these monkeys. But now she does know. And now you're just selling them out of the back of a minivan. Come on, Tanya.
But also, how many stupid fuckers out there don't know what to do with the exotic animals that they acquire? How many stories do we hear about like, oh, wow, like this wild black mamba was caught in Florida because someone bought it as an exotic thing and then they decided it was too hard to take care of, so they dumped it in a lake. Like, it's like every infestation we ever have is like someone bought something illegally and then decided it was too hard to handle, so they let it go free, and then it like grew out of control because it had no natural predators and took over. So like that's what's so disgusting. One of the many reasons that's why exotic animal brokering and purchasing is so vile, irresponsible.
Yeah.
Humans.
Well, you say where do you find these idiots? I'll tell you where. It's called Facebook.
Yeah.
Because then we cut to the Facebook montage. She's like, yeah, you know what I do? Like, oh, I put it on Facebook. I'll say, hey, exotic monkeys. And boom. I get some answers. And then is this where we start hearing all the voices?
Yeah, and they're all,
I want your monkey.
Can I get a monkey? I saw your monkey on Facebook and I was wondering if you have one available. They all sound like that. Hey, you got a monkey? I'll have a monkey, please, and a tiger too. Goodbye.
Well, I have a lot of zoo contacts. And that's how they generate more income. They sell off the babies, which for anybody who was standing up for zoos earlier, there's that. And, they don't want it to be known, of course, because there's a lot of celebrity clients to buy, and keep the secret now. Put up a picture, a full linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. There he is. There he is right there. Be sure not to tell anybody, okay? America.
I'm not saying who it is, but he's a star full linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, So she's like, she's like, my best year of brokering monkeys so far has been about $350,000. Okay. And like, you can easily make $1 million selling animals in a year's time, but I would trade this house and anything else that I own just to get back to where we were before PETA came and took the kids.
I'm going to start a new life. It's just my way of coping with what's going on, the loss of the chimps, because I'm really not dealing on this very, very zen. So she's still going back to see Connie every once in a while, and it's super awkward because Connie still lives in that big house, but it's just like all these empty prison cells, and Connie's just walking around jangling keys. Like, well, I was just walking around telling no one to behave. So it's been rough.
It's sad because, when Tonka was alive, he was a big greeter. He was tough. He would, he'd wave his hand, stick his tongue out at you, maybe masturbate in your face, throw some poop at your hair. Oh my God, he was so friendly.
You'd walk in, he'd ask you how many were in your party, if you wanted to eat lunch at a high top or a regular top.
Give you a little buzzer. You wait for 45 minutes. You go in, you'd be like, wait a second, well, look at all these empty tables. You could have sat me 30 minutes ago. And he goes, I'm sorry, that's not the policy. God, he was so good at it.
Other days, you'd walk in, he'd say, welcome, tell you to turn that frown upside down. What a greeter. What a greeter. That kid, anybody ever met Tonka will tell you that chimp was the most amazing chimp. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that about their own chimps, but I'm telling you, fuck them. Their chimps are idiots. Tonka was the best chimp. And I know a lot of people would say that about my daughter. Just kidding. Literally no one has ever said that about my daughter, including me. The day she came out, I said, I kept the receipt. Can I send it back?
He did movies his entire life, and from the time he was 6 months old on. So Tonka was a humanzee. See what I'm saying? He's half human, half chimpanzee. Humanzee. Think about it. Human with a Z. Anyone? No? Anyone get the reference? No?
It's like Jordan's a Jordastard. He's a Jordan and a bastard.
He's a chimp person, like a chimp and a person.
It's like a pea sucks. It's like PETA that sucks. Okay.
It's called like a Jordan in a toilet. Like Jordan is in the toilet is where it belongs.
Yeah, Tonka did movies, and he was a human Z. And if I cried, he'd wipe the tear from my face because he didn't want you to cry, And then he'd reach out and pat the back of my head and kiss my forehead. Then he'd start pointing at his lips because he wanted big old lips like me, pointing at my boobs. He wanted to be the Dolly of chimps. So it got rough. It was a little jealous. I had to just stop seeing him for a while. I mean, single white chimp, am I right? Just couldn't get Tonka away from me. Jeez, Tonka, take a break.
We shared so many memories, like the time we just looked into each other's eyes and cried as I poured an entire bag full of EL fudges into his mouth. It's just so many memories.
So she's going through this really touching monologue of like, he's just like a person. He's just like my child. And then she goes, yeah, I mean, he would even masturbate. Yeah, right at me, But it was cute because he'd be tactful. He'd do it under a blanket.
Just going up. He's very quiet, very, very, very mature about it, And I'd say, Tonka, knock it off, that kind of stuff. I need to come over here, semen all over his hands. Brushing the tears off my eyes.
So disturbing. And the producer's like, so you're saying Tonka was shy when he masturbated and you showed up? She's like, yeah. Not shy enough not to masturbate every time I walked in the room. But listen, I take real good care of myself. So who are we going to blame here? The chimp or the med spa?
So, so then we see more footage of Alan Cumming is now watching footage or just watching the movie Buddy, part of the AFI's top 100 films.
Yeah, Alan Cumming. Every time they cut to Alan Cumming, I'm like, why are you still here? I mean, like, you did great and everything. I always love Alan Cumming.
Yeah, but
they just kept Alan Cumming as long as possible. Like, they're like, okay, we got your story. You want to watch a Tonka movie? He's like, sure.
It's literally like that. It's literally like that PBS show where people look at their family trees, and now Alan Cummings is just like staring at the monkey like, oh, yes, I remember. I remember now the Tonka.
To know now that I come from a long line of Tonkas really puts everything into perspective,
Yeah, like, it's like, we get it. He liked Tonka. What else do we have to get from it?
Real Tonka stan over there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, they're like, Alan, we're going to have you look at some more pictures of that movie you were in with Tonka, right? Okay, well, that you can't put real chimps in films anymore. It's like, I know. It's pretty crazy, but they're still allowing Real Housewives on television. I know, I host one of their shows. Okay. But don't you worry that people are going to accuse you of being a hypocrite, Alan, when you work for PETA, but then you also worked with chimps?
Well, times have changed. It's been 30 years. I've changed. Times have changed. The thing is with Tonka. One time, you see this scene right here? He's doing a little painting. And then after this, I went to Budapest. I had the most depressing movie. Also with Rene Russo. God, 2 Renes in a row. It's a lot to take on. Anyway, I was just lying there. I was like, Caroline, I'm so sad. She goes, here's the painting from that chimp that you had an unhealthy relationship with. Please enjoy. And I said, this will make me happy. So I put this painting up in the wall in Budapest and I looked at it. Made me happy to see him.
Yeah, I was so worried about Tonka. I was trying to do this film in Budapest, and I said, I can't live with myself. And somebody sent me a picture with what looks like a bloody handprint from Tonka. It's like, wow, how is this supposed to make anybody feel better? It looks like they took that right before Tonka was murdered. Like, what the hell? It's just like it's like a horror movie. It's like a bloody handprint. He's like, I love it. I'd look at it every day. It felt like a warm hug.
Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll look at the painting and then I'll call up Rene Russo and say, where's your monkey painting, bitch? And then I hang up. Hate her.
So we go back to Tanya at her Ozarks house, and there's a baby kangaroo hopping all over the place with a diaper on. And it's like, oh, it's Katie. Hi, Katie. Oh, it's my baby I raised. Her name's Katie. Oh, what's she saying? I want my bottle, Mom. I want my bottle, Mom.
Okay, you're going to take ballet class? Yes. That's a good daughter. Look at her.
I do love
Making
Katie.
an effort.
Katie's a real breakout star. And later on, Katie like hops into a little bag just because it feels like it's like the pouch. And Katie's just like in that
Yeah.
pouch. I'm like, God, I love Katie so much.
Yeah, Katie's so fucking cute.
She's the best.
So Tanya's like, oh, I'm not a big TV person or a social media person, but it's funny because you know what they're calling me? Monkey mogul. Monkey mogul. I don't know where they got that. Monkey mogul.
Tanya, you're wearing a name tag that says Monkey Mogul.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
I love her saying she's not a big social media person when like it's been 2 episodes worth of, so I posted this on Facebook and look at me. Here's a photo of me with my lips on Facebook. Here's my new wig on Facebook. Now here's a TBT. Here's my old face. Yeah, you know what? Like I'm just not really on Facebook very much.
What are you doing with your arms there, Tanya?
It's a monkey dance. I do it on Tiki-Taki with Tonka. I mean, used to.
He's absolutely dead. You know,
Dead Tonka. Tonka's ghosts. In Tonka.
it cracks me up because I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not a monkey mogul. I'm Dolly Parton of monkeys. Second of all, is faking the death of a chimp okay? It's like faking the death of a chimp okay? Like for what? Like what good reason? I mean, I'm like I want Pete to explain to me what good would it do to me to fake Tonka's death. Okay, I know for a fact that PETA would never quit hounding you, so you wouldn't be able to get to keep Tonka yourself. So I mean, like, what would you even do with like a fake dead Tonka? Like, why would you even fake the death of a monkey? What's even the point of it? It's not like you have a basement with a cage downstairs that you could keep a live monkey all this time. It's ridiculous.
Why would I keep a monkey? A cute, adorable monkey that's just like a child to me. What would I do with the child except love it, hold it, love it, and swing it back and forth in my arms? I would never do such a thing. Who would do that? Play games with it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100, Tonka. Do that. In the arms of the angel. Why?
So
Put a little wig on it. Little blonde wig. Say, you're so good, Leslie, my daughter.
So this,
Sorry, I got lost there. Got lost in my past there.
Leslie. So we see now Jared Goodman is walking down a hallway and a news anchor is talking about him. And I guess the lady of the news is like, hey, have you taken up your, like Tanya's offer to go to her house? And he's like, well, there's no reason for us to believe that Tonka is in her home. She lives somewhere that, to our knowledge, doesn't have an enclosure for a chimpanzee, and Tonka's an adult and a dangerous chimpanzee. He wouldn't just be living in a house like a child. I'm like, sir, have you been watching the first episode of this documentary?
It's like, yeah, she doesn't have space for a monkey, and she certainly is not stupid enough to be living with a child in some domestic situation where she's putting a little girl's wig on the child and calling it her daughter. I mean, that would never happen ever. So, also, look, we're here for the welfare of animals, but we're also here for the welfare of gays. And I would not subject any of us, especially myself, to that kind of a situation. Tanya's house, no thank you.
This is why Jared is, this is why he's so insistent on this case, because he's like, I refuse to allow you to take the title of Dolly of chimpanzees. I'm taking every single chip away from you.
I was going to let her get away with it until I heard she called herself the Dolly of chimpanzees.
So he's like, look, chimps are incredibly strong. They're cute when they're young, but when they're adults, they're really strong and they're really dangerous. At which point my heart started to race because I was like, oh God, we're going to get into the scary chimp parts. The scary chimp parts are coming. What's coming?
Yeah, listen, they're like a Minnelli. They're like Liza Minnelli. Adorable when they're young, extremely dangerous to the public as they age.
And he's like, well, it's easy for them to harm a human being, as we've seen with arguably the most infamous animal attack of all time, the chimpanzee Travis. At which place we then go to Travis Holman in Texas, and he's just there, be like, Stephanie.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Okay, now we enter a very dark period in this show and in time. So prepare. So here we go. So we meet a lady named Carrie, who is Sandy's stepdaughter.
Yeah,
and she's going through memories.
Yes. We're in Connecticut now. And Carrie,
Yes, she's taking stuff out of a sorry, I thought I skipped something. She's taking stuff out of a shed, and she's telling us,
My father was married 4 times, and I know her because she was wife number 2. And there was just so much negative stuff about her on TV and in the papers about Sandy and Travis, and I would just bite my tongue and not say anything. But I want people to know the truth because there was just so much. Oh God, you might have to cut this part out, but there was just so much bullshit. There was so much. I said, did you get that on camera? You should cut that out. I'm a bad girl.
one day she told me, Sandy told me that she was going to get chimpanzee. And I said, where is she going to get that from? And she said, oh, well, she knows this lady. And I think her name was Connie, something like that. Big Wheel of Fortune fan. She was out in Missouri. So she said she's going to fly out to Missouri, get this chimp, $40,000, $40,000, in fact. She went out. She came home with Travis. Cutest baby you ever saw. It really was. I mean, it was
really cute. And we see Travis in the bath, and he's on a trampoline in overalls, real cute. And then the next door neighbor, Sandy's friend or whatever, is like,
I remember Sandy saying to me, you don't love that little shit. Look at that little guy. Isn't he cute? He was cute. That guy was fucking cute. Let me tell you that.
That was the voice of Nadina Truini. I love her name. Nadina Truini from Stamford, Connecticut.
I'm gonna listen. You want the truth? You come to me. I'm Nadina Truini. All right, I ain't Nadina lying. All right?
No,
You come to me for the truth.
yeah, you know what? I give you a truth cocktail. It's called the Truini. That's coming from me, Nadina. So Carrie is like, Travis was like any other person in our family. He was just like the one that couldn't talk. Sandy was his mom. Jerry was his dad. They trained him to use the potty and everything. He used to know how to use the microwave. He could cook for himself. He could eat snacks. He would masturbate under a blanket tactfully. And they taught him how to drive.
Thankfully. Yeah. He could steer. He knew which one was the gas pedal.
okay, guys, I know things have changed. Again, I know that times have changed, but we're okay with monkeys driving. Can we not teach our monkeys how to drive? Come
Can
on.
we have some boundaries? Can we have some healthy boundaries here? Okay.
Please.
Hey, well, she goes,
He was never alone. He went everywhere. Go
she
ahead,
goes,
Ben. Go
he
ahead.
knew which one was the gas pedal, but note that he did not know which one was the brake.
Exactly. Or like the park. You know what I mean?
Continue on, Ronnie.
All right. Well, he would go shopping. He would get in the car all the time with her. And they went everywhere. And he was never alone. And she was never alone. So it was perfect. It was real perfect.
And she kind of looks away, and you're like, this was not perfect. Get to the sad part. You're killing me here, lady.
Yeah.
Well, Sandy and Jerry built a towing business. It was from the ground up, and they called it Desire Me Motors, because they really wanted to mix towing cars and with sex appeal as people do, like, who do you want to tow your car? Someone fuckable or someone unfuckable? I mean, they had a point.
So we decided to lean into fuckable, which is why they made Travis the mascot. We're like, okay, who wants to fuck a monkey? Okay. And then what happens if that monkey takes your car? Think about it, guys. So then
Did you think we were going to get to the monkey slaughter before we made you extremely uncomfortable? No. Every fact I give you about Trav is going to make you uncomfortable. Trav drove. Trav took baths with his dad. Trav was the mascot of a fuckable towing company.
there was nothing he really couldn't do. So then Carrie is like, she's like, yeah,
The fuck is wrong with us?
No, but what the fuck is wrong with this towing company? None of this makes sense. First of all, like, why are you calling your towing company?
I don't know who I'm mad at.
Desire Me?
The show or myself?
It's like Desire Me. It's like stealing your car, but your car is your heart. But then it's a monkey. It turns out it's a monkey that's doing it. So Carrie,
It just sounds like improv,
We started a towing company called Desire Me Towing.
What the hell?
Travis the chimpanzee became the mascot. So the police were apparently always hanging around the towing company, and they're always hanging out with Travis. And so Frank Chiafari from Stamford Police, he's like, yeah, when I used to do traffic, it would be a common sight to see Travis. He'd just be waving at you, jerking off under his blanket, had a big smile on his face. And sometimes they'd pull up next to me and I'd just play with him. I loved him. God, he was great. And we see videos of Frank playing with this chimp, playing ball or something like that.
And he's so cute. Travis is so cute. Like, he really is cute, and he seems so sweet and friendly.
He is. He's
And And Carrie's like,
He went everywhere with Travis, you know, and everybody wanted to meet him. Maury Povich, he met Maury Povich. Sheryl Crow, he met Sheryl Crow. She was kind of a bitch. Why lie? There was a TV commercial with Morgan Fairchild. God, he loved Morgan Fairchild, you know. He was in an Old Navy commercial. Remember that one?
That was an iconic commercial when that lady, who didn't love that lady back in the day? Morgan Fairchild. First of all, by the way, I feel bad for Sheryl Crow that she got second billing after Maury Povich. Like, she deserves much better. Like, why is Sheryl Crow not number one on that list? It's like,
you know, Sheryl Crow, I'll never forgive. And I've told you this story before, but it was a long time ago. But I'll never forgive Sheryl Crow because you know how people sometimes come up with alternate businesses. Hers was sleeves. That she was like so about like saving the earth that she made outfits that had detachable sleeves that were really long, and you use them as napkins to wipe yourself. I always thought that was the most fucking disgusting thing. And I'll never look at Sheryl. I'll never be okay with Sheryl Crow now.
I'll always remember the time that Sheryl Crow performed in the Big Brother house. And that's just a weird thing that happened in our lives. But anyway, Sheryl Crow is here listed in a sandwich between Maury Povich and Morgan Fairchild, which is like the gayest thing this show could ever do. And so, but by the way, though, that Old Navy commercial, when they showed it, I was like, I remember that commercial. And like whichever gay came up with the idea to put Morgan Fairchild, that lady, that fashion lady, older fashion lady, and a chimp together to sell Old Navy, like they deserve a GLAAD Media Award, okay? Because they did great work. That was genius casting.
Yeah. It's a classic, and it doesn't feel like that long ago, but hey, it's like, ain't that just life? So Carrie's like, yeah, and then he got big. You know, it's like a toddler that gets big, you know, or a Manelli. That one's for you, Jared. Okay. And you can't control him. He's a pain in the ass. You tell him to stop doing something and he'll just masturbate all over you. And if he didn't want to, he wasn't gonna. So, you know, wow. Yeah, it was ugly. But then, yes.
I just like when Carrie goes, you know, they just do what they want. But it's like, you know, knock it off, you know, knock it off. I'm like, it's a chimpanzee. They're like, you know, when they start like, you know, grabbing you by the arm and you feel like your arm's gonna be detached from its socket and you're like, knock it off.
Yeah, I mean, Travis was about 6 or 7 when Sandy realized that she couldn't really control him anymore, but that was her son, so she was going to make it work.
And this is where the trouble came with Travis. And I would imagine most of them where you're like, okay, well, this was cute for 5 years and now we're all fucked, you know? And some people would have the sense to call Connie, and then Connie would take these back. I guess they would either take them back or take them in and kind of give them somewhere to live out this portion of their lives. But
right.
Yeah,
no, but Sandy was
so sad.
Sandy was like deluded and was like, this is my child. Because by the way, this is what happens when you take a chimp, really any animal, but like really in this case, you take a chimp and you put it in little pants and you have it do human things. You blur the line for yourself about that this is a wild animal out of its natural habitat, but it has wild animal tendencies. And chimps are so territorial and they fuck shit up. If they want to like fuck shit up, they will fuck shit up. But people, they blur the lines, and it's so dangerous. And now here's a lady who blurred the line so much that she now sees this chimp as her own child. And that's...
Yeah, because it sounds like what she's saying, it sounds like her reasoning was almost someone with a kid who's got issues, right? Like, well, it's still my kid and I want to help the kid. I don't want to just send the kid away. I want to help my kid, but it's not your kid. It's a wild animal. This is not just like a behavioral issue, you know what I mean? Or a mental issue or something that you can help. It's nature. It's nature, ma'am. So Frank is telling us this story of how, he got out one time, like he got out the car in traffic and he starts running around. He stops traffic. The news was there, everything. He starts walking up to people in traffic and like spanking them, like giving them spankings and stuff. And it was funny at first. And then they show news footage of him kind of like rolling around on the ground, being playful, but he refused to get back in the car. And he was just kind of running around, like looking into people's cars and fucking with everybody.
Yeah. And so basically, like after that, like they changed laws. They created the Travis Amendment in Connecticut. That's basically like, can't do this. You have to have a permit if you're going to have a primate that's over 50 pounds. And then mayor called and was like, this happens again, you're going to basically lose your chimp. That's what, like, serious repercussions, quote unquote repercussions, according to Nadina Truini. And so as a result, Travis had to be confined to the house after that. And so he wasn't able to go out into the world, which is funny because, like, of course, the chimp wants to go out in the world because it's a wild animal. It doesn't want to be confined. It wants to be out. It wants to be doing things. It wants to be roaming the world. And it shouldn't be in the confinement of a Connecticut household in the first place.
Right. So basically, it started kind of going nuts because it was stuck in confinement all the time. And it started getting really depressed. And Nadina tells us that the dad, Jerry, got sick and had stomach cancer and he never came home. And so then Travis was really heartbroken. And so was Sandy. So that house just became miserable. Right. So then
it became like a hoarder house also. It became like very depressing in there.
Oh God, this is also, I feel like we should even shorten this part because it's just so sad. Basically, the guy gets super depressed. Okay. So she had a neighbor, Charla, and Charla would come babysit the monkey, the chimp. And she was having trouble. He wasn't listening. He wasn't, he was having some behavioral issues. And so she called Charla and she's like, "Hey, Charla, would you come help me? I'm having issues." So Charla's like, "Sure." So Charla came over and he went crazy.
Yeah.
The monkey went completely crazy. And
we hear a 911
Carrie.
We hear basically the monkey attacks Charla. We hear a 911 call, which is, it's really like, it will send chills down your spine because it's real. And you hear basically Sandy screaming and saying, "You got to come over here. You've got to shoot this chimp. It's killing my friend. It's like eating her." It is so scary. And then the officer talks about going there and like seeing the monkey, and the monkey was like, he took out his gun and the monkey came over to his side of the squad car and pulled the door off. And so he shot the monkey, and he said that like, oh, the monkey was telling him like, "Please put me out of my misery," or whatever. But he shot the monkey several times, and the monkey was still alive. The chimp was still alive, went back in the house and died. And then this lady, she lost her nose. She actually survived, which is great, but she lost her nose. I think her jaw, eyes. It's horrifying.
Yeah, it was really terrible. My God. And while this is all going on, the mom is running around stabbing the monkey, and it wasn't affecting the monkey at all. I mean, the whole thing was horrific. And so then Carrie, who's the daughter, was saying, and she was telling me not to tell anybody, but if they had looked at her body that day, they would have seen that she had bruises all over her. So she had been kind of being abused by this monkey or whatever, by this chimp for a long time. And
because there's
this whole thing was crazy.
Yeah.
And so dark.
The state did not press charges against Sandy because I think they viewed it as like it was a wild animal that got loose, But like basically, actually, Sandy had awareness that that the chimp had become violent and dangerous to be around, and she was hiding that from people. So she was totally liable for this.
Right, because there were no laws. So you can't really press charges if it's not illegal to have. I mean, even when they passed the Travis Amendment, it was that you can't have chimps you can't have primates past a certain weight. But then what? Like that you had to have a permit, but you shouldn't even be able to have them with a permit. But they didn't. It's like there wasn't enough knowledge to know how dangerous that was, I guess. Eesh.
It's really so scary. And I just know I have a memory of another chimp attack that I think also happened in Connecticut, and I'm wondering if that's going to come up in episode 3. And I'm sure it probably will, because I think they're always going to go for visceral stuff. And I remember that also made national news, and that like. Literally, like, I'm like, please don't put it in the documentary. I don't want it.
Yeah. So then Jared from PETA comes back on the screen, and he's talking about how they've been after people like this for years because the Endangered Species Act was signed into law, and that protected animals that were on the verge of extinction, and wild chimpanzees were protected, but the ones that were held in captivity were left out because they wanted to still use them in laboratories and zoos and for entertainment, right?
Yeah. So, which is like, that's great. So now we are back to Dwayne and Tanya in her kitchen, And he's giving her a box of animal crackers.
Well, basically, I'm sorry, real quick, because I didn't finish that. I should have finished that part.
sorry.
It's really long. But he basically says that the lawful pipeline was shut down for wild chimpanzees. So people like Connie flourished and were out there selling these animals for like 65 grand. So this starts putting, and not only because we see how dark all this is, but this happens. And then this lady is like, oh, well, that sucked. But I'm still going to go sell a bunch of unsuspecting people from Facebook these animals by the buttload so I could buy a mansion on the Ozarks. It's like, oh.
So now we have Dwayne and Tanya in her kitchen and they're eating animal crackers. And Tanya's like, oh, gosh, you know what I'm mad about? Look at this animal cracker box. OK, I'm very angry about this. OK, because I will not eat these anymore because PETA made them take the bars off the box. OK, like, oh, because they can't be in cages. Isn't that ridiculous? Barnum and Bailey had these cookies for how long? It was ridiculous.
You got to even free the animals on the box of the cookies? God, wow. What are you going to steal those animals too? I'm surprised that they don't just give you boxes of animal crackers and you look inside and there's no animals in them because PETA ate them all. Okay?
I mean, I love the crackers. I mean, honestly, but like, see, this is where a lot of people don't realize how bad PETA really outreaches on stupid stuff like this. I mean, what's next? They're going to want to take the pepperoni off of pizza. Actually, they probably would want to do that because that's meat.
What, are you trying to protect penguins?
What?
That's what I'm asking you.
Well, next they're going to be mad because polar bears are floating on 3-foot big pieces of ice down in the middle of the. They probably would be mad about that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Better stop drinking Coke. What? No one's allowed to keep polar bears in their backyard anymore? Oh, let's see what PETA's going to do.
I figured it out. PETA's going to be mad because Coke uses polar bears in their Christmas commercials, and it's probably not right for the polar bear. Oh, the polar bear's wearing a scarf. That's bad for the polar bear. Am I right? High five, Dwayne.
No more scars for polar bears. Got it, PETA. Idiots. So she's like, no, I still love animal crackers. I'm not going to lie about it. Bars or no bars, I still eat them because, I'm an animal person. So animal people eat animal crackers.
That was kind of a shock to me. I was like, wow, people who love animals also eat animals. It's like, I like circus animals. I'm into animal crackers.
Yeah, I thought that was so weird. I thought like Dwayne's whole story is he was a circus clown. So therefore, I'm going to have the only circus treat that there is out there. Very on the nose.
Circus themed treat.
I'm on the clown nose.
Maybe some ring dings. I don't know.
So she's like, yeah, this is where a lot of people don't realize how bad PETA really is because this is the stuff that they do, taking bars off cookies. That's what they do. Okay.
So Eric is, now we're talking to Jared, and Eric's like, so what makes PETA so sure that Tanya is lying and that Tonka's alive? And he's like, well, we asked where Tonka was because we hadn't received proof of his death. And she said that he was cremated. So we had the court order evidence, and Tanya shows up with an email, and it says, this is an email from a man named Jerry, a Sweegan, and it says Tonka died, and that they burned Tonka in a burn pit at about 165 to 170 degrees. Do you know what's 165 degrees? My butt crack. My butt crack is 100. It's not going to cremate anybody.
There were no bones anymore. And first it turns out that Jerry Oswegan was Tanya Haddock's husband, which, by the way, LOL. She's still married? Really?
What a twist.
What a twist. That's the twist, everyone. This is the end of episode 1. Am I right? No? This is not the cliffhanger?
The twist is that she's had a husband this whole time? What the hell?
And also, that temperature is simply impossible. If you think about it, your home oven, you can't cook anything at 170 degrees. Can you cook Ina Garten's perfect roast chicken at 170 degrees? No, 350. Okay. Can you cook her outrageous brownies at 170 degrees? No, 350 again. Listen, you can't do anything, especially nothing from Queen Ina at 170 degrees.
Yeah. So she's like, well, I don't know. I don't know much. I'm not an embalmer or, funeral home director. Like, what do I know? But apparently they wrote the statement the first time and it said 160 degrees. But what they meant, they forgot a zero. So it was supposed to say 1600 degrees, but they forgot that part. And we sent it to Jared. And guess what that little fuck did? He pretended he never got it. Does Jared say that he got the amended report that says 1700 degrees? No, he doesn't. Why? Because it's jackass and a fuckface. Okay. And that jackasses and fuckfaces don't read second responder emails. That's why fucking one single email reader fuck.
So Dwayne's like, so do you have Tonka's ashes? Oh yeah. Here we go. Here's a Ziploc bag I keep in a nice little box with a bow, and these are definitely his pink ashes. And he's like, are you sure this isn't like cake sugar for decorating a cake?
Yes, what are you talking about? Now listen, you know that it's really Tonka's ashes because Tonka had a lot of Nesquik, and this tastes just like Nesquik powder.
If you look at it closely, you can almost see a bunny in it. It's like, it doesn't look like ashes.
And it really is. Like anybody who's ever seen CSI knows that this is flour, right?
Very much. It's like not the right color. And
it's not chunky. Like it looks nothing like ashes. All you have to have seen is like literally the news. Like I'm wondering, why didn't she even Google this? You know what I mean? Like, come on. What do ashes look like?
You know what? I'm tired of Jared being an ass and insulting my integrity. And then we cut to Jared saying, well, I think my relationship with Tanya would accurately be described as acrimonious, and that's mostly from her end. And then it's just a montage.
To a montage of Tanya going,
I would say he's the devil's spawn, but I know he has a mother. He's a bastard.
He's a dick.
I always watch his Facebook page to see if his wife dumps him.
You ever want to see a shoelace in human form? Jared.
Guys, Pee Wee Herman. I have voodoo dolls of Pee Wee Herman. Hopefully I can get that fucker at some point. You know why? He looks just like
Pee Wee Herman.
Contempt. Oh, look, I have another piece of paper. Motherfucker.
My favorite was, I keep checking his Facebook page to see if his wife dumps him.
And look, that dumbass accidentally sent me a friend request. And they're like, why did you do that? He goes, that was unintentional. Thank you for noting it. I'd have canceled it.
That's funny. Oh, why would you send me a Facebook friend request? So then back to interviews. So Jared's like, I very much look forward to the day when I can close this tab and never reopen it. I tried to run him over last time we left the courtroom. I'm going to slap the shit out of this guy. I don't want to kill him. I just want to maim him. He's lucky he jumped off the curb or he would have been run over.
Her personal attacks were so inconsequential to me that I don't remember precisely what they were, although I do have a recurring nightmare of being run over by a Chevrolet.
So he calls.
So, guys, he's calling right now. He's calling right now. Pee Wee Herman's here. All right. I was like,
Hi, Ms. Maddox. It's Jared Goodman. Can you tell us a little bit more about the evidence that you were offering up to us?
And she's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm so done with this. It's not even funny. It is not even, you know what Where's Waldo is? It's a Where's Waldo situation. I'm not Where's Waldoing anymore. Do you understand me?
He's like, what Where's Waldo situation?
You know what Where's Waldo is?
And then he's like,
just takes
a long pause.
It just takes 10 minutes.
Like,
it's like this really long pause, and he's like, excuse me. I'm familiar with the book.
Sorry for the pause, but my colleague Brittany just walked in and she was wearing a terrible perfume. So she goes, well, if you think I like the situation, you're really out of your damn mind. You don't have the feelings that I have for those kids. You have not had to go through everything that I've had to go through. And I'm so done with this situation because I'm the one who got to be villainized. I went up there out of the kindness of my heart to help those chimps / children / better Mother's Day gifters. And if you think if you don't think I live with that every day, that I failed those kids, then you are out of your damn mind. And if a Chevy Malibu happens to jump a curb and run you over, I hope it hits you square on the legs. Not saying it's going to happen.
She's going on this. She's going on this huge, like, hey, you don't understand the children. I do it for the children. I'm the only one fighting for the children of this country. Hello? It's this long pause. He never answers. He coughs again. It's just like this 10-minute pause.
Is that all then? All right. Is that it?
Can I go now? She's like, drops the tears.
So we come here.
So, and I like that we see a shot of an end table. There's like a little chimp figurine, but next to it is just like a generic drugstore picture frame that just has the photo of like the happy couple, like the generic stock photo with the couple smiling in it. Like she didn't even fill it with a photo. She's just like, I just like the way they look.
Because I really like the frame. You know why? 'Cause this is a representation of me being framed. That's it.
So then Connie calls, and Connie's like, I was just checking in this morning. Where are you at?
I'm at home. Just a little bit ago, I just got off the phone with Pee Wee.
And you run him over yet? Well, him and Peter are a bunch of assholes, of course, which I expected you know. And she's like, yeah, I know it's scary. I want everybody just to leave me alone. Just try to lay low as you can. And I don't trust anybody, not even that Ryan Seacrest. I guess I'll talk to you later, okay? Love you.
So then we go back to the main set piece, the tanning salon. So, like, how often are you here? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm here about 2-3 times a week. All right. So then we get various close-ups in tanning bed lighting of Tanya.
Yes.
The show seriously needs an Oscar for this. This show kills me. So they just show all these different kind of artistic shots of her in this like black light or whatever purple light or whatever you call it. And we hear more about her story. And she's like, my husband says, why are you always telling your life story? I say, because people want to know where Monkey Mogul comes from. Did I call myself that? No, other people do. Was it in my high school yearbook? It was. I don't know how it got there.
I've got nothing to hide because I'm just an open book. I've got nothing to hide, not even, I don't know, like a giant primate in my basement. And so I'm like, why shouldn't I tell my life story? I don't understand why I keep being the bad guy here. What? You keep a primate in a tiny cage away from its home habitat and suddenly you're a bad guy. I don't get this world.
So then we cut to Jared, and Jared's like,
we knew that Tonka was still out there, and we vowed that we were going to search exhaustively land, sea, air, grass, caves, underground, above ground, around the ground, swimming pools, deserts. We didn't care. We would reach the ends of the earth to find this chimp.
Did you go into her house?
No, that's just dumb. That doesn't even make any sense. We are sending a team to Egypt, though. You never know.
I know. The one place they don't look. Well, we looked at her driveway and we felt like, no. So then he says he got a call from a psychic, which was he said, I knew this would be unpredictable, this case. But the last thing I was expecting was get a call from a psychic. So now we have Brittany. She's back. And she's like, well, Tanya's friend confided to her psychic that it seemed like Tonka really was alive because Tanya had texted this friend long after Tonka had supposedly died saying that she was out getting groceries for Tonka.
So the psychic reached out to us and we were able to submit a subpoena to get copies of those texts.
What the fuck kind of psychic is this? I hope this psychic goes out of business. Isn't there some kind of psychic patient privilege that happens? You don't get to just tell on people. And it's not even fair because you have information that other people wouldn't even have. Like, police, Ronnie is going to murder a gallon of ice cream tonight. Get him. That's not fair. I haven't even done it. It's like the pre-crimes unit of that Tom Cruise movie.
Well, rumor has it that when this friend told the psychic that Tonka was still alive, the psychic said, I knew it. Dun-dun-dun.
Well, this confirmed, of course, what we already knew. Tonka never really died. And with this evidence, we were able to finally get her back into court to find out what happened to Tonka. That's a Law and Order sound, but it's just in Tonka's name.
Tonka. So now we're January 5th, 2022, and we're doing a Zoom court case. So they're all zooming in to this judge and everything. And Jared is like,
by the way, can I just say how funny the Zoom case is? We forget that that's how things were going. Everybody had to do this
disaster. Yeah.
It was such a disaster. And just watching this Zoom meeting is pure comedy. Just watching them be like, okay, this court is in set. Are we there? Is everybody here? I'm here. All right. Is everybody else here? Lawyers? Okay, good. Okay, here we are. Good morning, Mrs. Haddix. We're here today to get the answer to a very simple question. Where's Tonka?
And he says, where's Tonka? And the music's like, dun, 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 dun. And then he's just staring at her, like staring her down. And she's staring him back. And you're like, oh my God. And you think that like for a moment, I thought she's going to confess something. She's going to say something. She's going to say the gig is up. Then she goes, you froze. I was see that he was like frozen.
The judge is like, Mr. Goodman is frozen. He is frozen. Oh, God. Now everybody's frozen.
All right, Tanya, you're frozen. No, just had Botox today. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on purpose. It was on purpose. So I presume the judge is frozen because this is the part where she asked me why Dolly Parton is speaking for me.
She's a little starstruck. Who here is starstruck and who here is frozen? Okay, raise your hand.
Dum 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 dum. Okay, consider your backside side, Judge. Okay, you're welcome. So not guilty. Okay.
So they confront her with this information about the psychic and saying Tonka needed groceries. So Tanya goes, well, right. Well, which that's a capuchin of mine. And like I got a new capuchin and a rescued capuchin, by the way. And I named the capuchin Tonka. So I was getting new Tonka groceries. Which I was like, okay, that
and
actually...
She's clear. She's not smooth at all. She's like,
well, Tonka.
I thought this was smooth at first. I thought at first, yeah. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then when they said, and when did you get this capuchin? Then that's when she was like, oh yeah, I have a capuchin. No, not January, September, spring, summer, July.
Yeah, September, July, Christmas, Easter, July, 4th of July, Easter. It's like Easter in July. Yeah.
So Jared, by the way, is not the best because you assume that Jared's like the most competent ever because he's just scary. Like I'm scared of Jared. So I just assume he's going to be super competent, but he's not because she goes,
that was another animal named Tonka. And he's like, okay, well, I guess you got us on that one.
It's like he didn't even anticipate that. It's like all he had was that text. He was like, oh, everyone was there like, I can't believe we are having a court. Like we all have gathered here for this stupid ass moment where all you had was a text message. So then, but here's where you really know she's lying because she's been talking about losing these chimps the entire documentary. She's been straight-laced, like nothing, no emotion really for anything. And then he's like, okay, so in your emotion, you reiterate that you found Tonka dead. She's like, yeah, well, I did. I was like, well, what happened was I went down and I went to the cage and the Tonka was sleeping and I flipped on the lights and he didn't move. His Tonka wasn't moving. Where did this come from?
He wasn't moving. I said, Tonky B. That's what I call Tonka. I call him Tonky B. Tonky B. Come on, Tonky. And he wouldn't move. So I got a PVC pipe and I started poking him with the pipe. And he still didn't move, so I went in and he was gone. I put an M&M in my mouth. Or if he was alive, he was even faking it. He'd reach for that M&M and start making out with me. Nothing. I said, Tonky B, pepperoni. He didn't even start masturbating. And that's when I knew it was over.
I said, Tonky B, I never said I'd be the best mother in the world, but give me some credit for trying.
Tried to be the best mother that I want to be.
Jared's like, wait a minute, I know that speech.
I bet you do, Jared. Don't tell your wife. So then,
Jared, could you please leave me alone? Stop making me wear a turban. I feel like goddamn Tweety Bird.
Oh, terrible, Tonky B, I can't do this. The judge is like, okay, let's take a 10-minute recess. Everyone calm down, compose yourself.
So the judge goes, we need to take a minute. She goes,
okay.
Completely drops the sobbing act.
All right, we're taking a break.
She goes, all right, counsel, we're going to take a 10-minute break so you can take a break. And she goes,
all right, thanks. Such a fucking bastard.
Ms. Haddix, I just want to let you know that your microphone is still on.
Thank you. Thanks. Sorry. So sad. So now they call up.
The way I died.
It was amazing. It really is so Jennifer Coolidge. So then they call up Mr. Goodman. They call up this guy, or I'm sorry, they call up Dr. Frederick Snow. So he comes up on the screen and she goes, this guy looks like a real dork.
They just told you your mic is still on. So then we get this guy, Dr. Snow, and he's like, I worked in Bosnia, working mass graves for the International Commission on Missing Persons. I worked in Kosovo as an agent for the United Nations. And now I'm working a chimpanzee case. All right, Dr. Snow, what happened? What happened in Bosnia? What did you do? Could you please tell us how you got here? It's like a whole other documentary.
I know. So he goes and he brings a bunch of pig bones to like a crematory. And they for a few hours they cremate them, and then we see the shot of him just like standing there, and the producer goes, "How long do we have to wait?" He goes, "What? You ask me for what? That? This? Huh? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?"
Yeah, basically he's like, this lady is such a liar. He's like, okay, look at this. The stuff is incinerated professionally, not just in some fire in the backyard. And it's bones. There's like huge bone fragments and this and that. It's nothing like flour, the consistency of flour. And he's like, obviously this lady's full of shit. What she presented looks nothing like this stuff, right? So then we come back to the court, and Jared's like, is there any evidence to show that Tonka's body was burned at this location? And Dr. Snow's like, no, it is inconceivable as it's described that this animal was incinerated in this way, in that way, blah, blah, blah. And Tanya goes, I got a question for you. Did you ever explore the site? Did you ever ask PETA to explore that site that you're claiming is fake? And he's like, no. And I wasn't asked to explore it. She goes, oh, all right. Well, that's all I have for you. I was like, how are they making Tanya look like a mastermind lawyer here?
I know.
She's got a good point. Like, you can't take someone to court and say there's no way that was the real burn site, but you never investigated the site.
Yeah.
Hello?
And by the way, we saw so much footage of during the we left no stone unturned. We saw PETA agents going undercover in so many different places, but the one place they just never went to, that they never went to Tanya's house. We got an actual clown from Barnum and Bailey into Tanya's house, but PETA couldn't get into her house. So then we see a dead armadillo on the road, which, as Ronnie and I learned, there are many of them in Missouri. And the newscaster talking about how, Tanya was crying in court and everything. So finally, Judge Perry comes back. She goes, all right, I'm just going to cut to the chase here. I got my entertainment value out of this. I told the other judges I was going to do this crazy case. And it was funny. We chuckled, but I think it's taken too long now. So I'm just going to get to this. Okay. I think there are a lot of inconsistencies and implausible evidences presented by Miss Haddix, and it's my belief that Miss Haddix makes things up. She's done that consistently and thoroughly. She keeps on saying how her lips are very kissable. She's the Dolly of chimps. She's sort of full of it. But that being said, we don't have enough evidence to say whether or not Tonka is dead. Like, I'm not sure that Tonka's alive, but we can't say that he's dead. So I don't know. Come back to me in a few weeks when you got something more for me.
Yeah, she's like, I need evidence. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, thanks for the interesting court case. Have no evidence. Sorry. Feel free to come back. Okay. So Tanya slams the laptop closed and she's like, we won. We
did it, Joe.
She's drinking her. We did it. We did it, Joe.
She grabs that Coke. There's a can of Coke and she starts chugging it like she's like she needed it so badly in that moment. And then her husband's there and he's like, well, you won for now. And she goes, yeah, well, we just got to keep him hidden. I was like, did she just say that on camera? And the husband looks at the camera like, you didn't hear that, right?
So she calls Connie. She's like, we won, Connie. And then she goes downstairs into the basement and she's got a chimp enclosure in the basement with Tonka.
I know. That was what was so funny was in my mind, I was like, I can't believe she slipped up like that. And I was like, oh no, she's just blatantly like here it is. I won.
Yeah. She was lying to us too. Yeah. She was lying to us too.
But she obviously is like okay with showing that Tonka is there. And I'm sure that at that point, the filmmakers know that Tonka's downstairs. So like, I don't know. That to me, now that was a twist. That was
That's what I'm saying. Like, how is it possible that a show like this, at the end of both of the episodes, they give you such a twist? Also, the fact that they go so dark in this show. It's amazing that they can go as dark as they did in this episode, because they did not tiptoe around any of the stuff with Tony. What was it? Monkey's name? what's wrong with me?
Travis?
The one that got violent and ripped out Travis, yes. So they didn't tiptoe around any of that. They made it really, really sad, really, really dark. And they spent a good half an hour in there, 20 minutes to half an hour in there. And then they just pivot right to the comedy of it, showing her in the tanning bed or the tanning salon. I mean, like, or not I think it was the animal crackers that were next.
Yeah.
But they pivot right into this pure comedy scene.
It goes from
I don't know how they did it, but it is just great how they're handling it all. I think that they're handling it in a really good way. They're not villainizing her and they're not making her a hero either. They're kind of they're just kind of showing you what's going on. And I think it's pretty impressive. And the fact that they could get you 2 twists in 2 episodes like that, it's crazy.
Well, the definitely like that she has a chimp in the basement is really crazy. That no one saw that, like it was so inconceivable that PETA didn't even bother going to that house is wild to me. But yeah, they do vacillate between darkness, tragedy, and violence, and then camp and comedy pretty effortlessly. But still, it's still, I will say, like, this show still strikes some disturbing notes on me in ways that Tiger King didn't. Like, it's like there's something really unsettling about all this. But I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. But it's also really fun. It's like crazy how they do it.
Aren't those the best things?
But I just think it's so well done. And the Tiger King, you have to remember that was really dark too. I mean, there was a lot of horrible stuff happening there. There was like a suicide. Wasn't there a suicide?
I think there was. There was the woman who got her arm torn off. But like, I guess the thing is, like, I just didn't really see. Yeah, but given that they're both dark, there was something like there's just something. You know what it is? There's something about the chimp that presents cute and cuddly and then does something like the biting the face off and the going for the genitals is so, there's something about that that's so horrifying. Like, I don't know why, like, it's like, oh, you went to pet a tiger and your arm got bitten off. It's like, that makes sense, you know?
Well, you almost expect it more from a tiger, I guess, because those are predatory animals that you're like, why is anybody being friends with a tiger? We all know how dangerous that is. Like the kind of what's that Vegas couple?
Yeah, like
Siegfried and Roy. It's like that kind of thing where something dramatic happens and everyone kind of has that like I told you so vibe about it because they are so dangerous and you're taking such a huge risk. Whereas a chimp is so cute and we're all so trained to think they're so adorable for movies. And also we're chimps. Like we're all kind of the same thing, it's like watching us. And so there is that element of like, oh, it's like a child. You do believe it when they say it's like their child. And so to see it go off the rails like that, is
I think it's just
scary.
Yeah, the delusion is so like it's dark. I mean, there was delusion in Tiger King where they were like, no, they're big cats. They just like to be caught. And you're like, what are you doing? But there's something about this delusion that just feels so dark and really weird.
Truly.
We'll see what happens.
Great show so far. We hope you guys are enjoying it, and we will be back. We'll be back every day. I mean, who are we kidding? We love you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Stroll in the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. She's never scary, it's the Green Fairy. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Chadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. Ring that bell for Rachel. She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.